Hi. Hi. Today's Align Living Live topic is freedom from worry. um, Worry can enslave us. Worry can take up a whole lot of our time. Worry can physically harm us. I was actually just talking to a potential client yesterday who was talking about how the effects that worry has been on them physically, the physical effects of it. And worry comes with many different faces. Worry can look like, oh, I'm worried that I'm worried about what other people will think. I'm worried about my kids. I'm worried about my husband. I'm worried about my marriage. I'm worried about where my career is going to go. I'm worried, should I do this event? Should I do that event? Worry has many faces. And some worry is just kind of in and out, right? In and out of our mind. And then other worry is very consuming. And it really takes up a lot of real estate in our mind, our heart, and our soul. And I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, I am not saying that when we have a loved one who hurts or a just somebody who we love that's going through something, or we just anything, right? I'm not saying that those aren't going to affect us. When I say freedom from worry, it's not freedom to never worry, it's a freedom from the hold that it has on you. And freedom has one purpose. Freedom has one purpose and one purpose only. So freedom or worry has one purpose and one purpose only. So right now I want you to think about, what are some of the things that you are currently worried about right now? Is it the cultural climate? Is it the global something or other? Is it your kids? Is it your family? Is it you? Is it your health? Is it somebody's health? And I want you to think about that. And I want you to know that it's the thing about worry is that all of that has it has the exact same component. All of that worry holds one thing in common. And I don't care what kind of worry you're worrying about. It holds one thing in common. I'm going to share that one thing with you. But first, I want to introduce myself. If you don't know me, I'm Tracy Gritz. And if you want more information on Align Living Live, it's every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, where I will be sharing things to help you live in alignment with the work of your heart and life of your soul. And you can find out more about Align Living Live if you go to www.tracy, and that's EY, Gritz, GRITZ.com, and you'll see Align Living Live right on the navigation bar. Or you can always text the word align to 38470, and you'll get notifications on Align Living Live. So that's me, and this is how you find out about it. So what is the one thing that all worry has in common? And that is fear. At the bottom of all worry, single thing you worry about, at the bottom of all worry, at the root of all worry, is fear. If you're worried about the cultural climate, you're fearful about it. If you are worried about somebody's health, you're fearful of what it's going to do to them, maybe how you're going to feel if something happens to them. If you are fearful about what to do in your career, you might be fearful about your future and your financial security and whatever else. When I first thought to do this Align Living on freedom from worry, I was worried about doing this, the topic, right? I was worried, what would you think? So right at the root of it, at the root of every fear, and at the root of every worry is fear. So you might want to consider calling worry Fiery. So, hi, Melissa West. Love you. So you can just, if you want to think about worry, think about the word fiery, and you'll know that's where you are. You are in fear. And fear, when you're fiery, or you can say, oh, I'm very feared. I'm very worried. I'm very feared, because they're synonymous. But we put on this extra little spin. Brenda, hi. Oh my gosh. That's super cool seeing you. So it's important to understand about what's at the root of worry, which is always fear, because this is significant for your freedom. If you believe that worry is just what it is, you can never actually be free of it. But worry is always rooted in fear, and worry is actually your wake-up call to stand in the truth, to stand in your inner truth. So it allows you, worry brings forth in you awareness. And that is the first step. So when you're worried, the first step is always awareness. A friend of mine and I, we have this version. So worry, it's sort of like, if you're really worried about somebody, your kids, your health, whatever it is, job, career, when they're torturing somebody and they put their head under the water and it's like, and then they come up. Oh, that's kind of like worry. When you're in worry, you are just drowning in the worry. And then when you can have awareness about it, oh, there's worry. And I want you to notice my language. The language is super important. There's worry. You are not worry. I know you feel like you are, but you are actually not worry. You are this body. You are this manifestation. You are this perfectly, beautifully, perfectly wonderful physical expression. And fear is there and worry is there because there's a fear, and the fear is actually your internal alarm alerting you that there is growth for you, that there is something to be done here. So let me give you an example. The other day, and this is a worry about your kids. Or worry about a person. And again, right? We have kids, or you have a loved one. That's some real shit right there, right? And he's traveling abroad, and we hadn't heard from him in 4 or 5 days. No way to reach him. He's got a cell phone, but it's not on. So my husband's like, "Are you worried?" And I'm like, "No, I don't feel worried. Don't feel worried." And then 2 mornings ago, or was it yesterday morning, I woke up at 3:30, because this is when worry, or fury, because it's really fear, loves to rear its ugly head, right? When we're trying to go to sleep, or when we're or we wake up. So oh my gosh, I'm worried. I wake up and I'm thinking about him. Is he safe? Is he this? So there's that feeling. I'm unconscious now. My head is under the water. Is he this? Is he safe? Did I don't know, did he get gunned down by militia? Who knows? And I'm like, oh, so here's the first step. Awareness. This is the path to freedom. I have awareness now. Oh, I'm in worry. I'm experiencing worry. Now I can do something about it. Right now, before I even knew I was worrying, I was just on the path. So now I can do something with the worry. So now I say, okay, have I done everything I can to make sure, to find out how I can contact and find out how he's safe? He's on a tour. So, okay, so tomorrow you guys will call the company that he's on the tour with, and you will be able to find out if he's safe. Done, right? But that doesn't take away my worry now, does it? Right? Because now I still don't have I haven't heard his voice. Yes, he's 24, but that's even more reason. And so now worry is still, and now I'm under the water again. Okay, but what about this? What about this? So this is the other part to worry. And this is the picture I love. Kyle Cease has this great example. Basically, I'm creating this picture of the worst case scenario. So I am drawing a picture as the artist. I mean, and I'm telling you, my mind, it is a very graphic visual picture of all the things that could be going wrong. I'm drawing this picture right on the wall in front of my bed. And then every time I open my eyes, basically I wake up and I look at the picture, scare the shit out of myself of the same picture that I drew the picture. I'm drawing my monster. Basically, this is my monster, and I am drawing it, and then I'm looking at it over and over and over and over again. So here I draw this picture of this monster, that something wrong is going on with my kid in some country, and then I keep pulling it out and looking at my own horrific picture. So this is, right, this is worry or feary, because I'm really in fear. So now what I've done what I can. So the thing is, okay, Tracy, you know you've done what I can. Now, the next thing, and this is the beautiful part, is I love on myself. I know that might sound crazy to you, but the place we are, there is the greatest amount of neglect is for ourselves. We constantly are telling ourselves, shut the hell up. You're worried. Now you're worried. Now you're going down that road. But really, what's worry? Imagine if you're worried about something and I just keep talking to you about it over and over and over, and we keep rehashing it over and over. Or what if I look at you and I say, I hear you're worried. Of course, I completely understand. You are a mom or whatever. This is your parent. This is your husband. Fill in the gap. And if I say, hey, I love you, I get it. I am here for you. When I say those words to you, it is like balm to the soul. You are heard. You are seen. But this is something we do not choose to do with ourselves. So when I'm in worry, okay, did what I could, right? The first is awareness. Second, is there anything I can do? And now the third is, it's still coming up for me. Okay, hey. So I say to myself, hey, Tracy, hi, honey. I know you're worried. Yes, I know. Sounds crazy. I'm talking to myself exactly in these words. I know you're worried. I'm here for you. I love you. And every time I start to draw my monster, there's fear. I gotcha. And I go right back in to loving on myself, to hearing myself, to acknowledging the truth of the situation. But we have been culturally conditioned to push down that part of us. When we have feelings, we want to we just either one, we're buried in the water of, we're like waterboarding ourselves, right? Okay, my life sucks. Oh my God, I'm so worried about this. I'm so worried about that. And then we come up, okay, I have to drive the kids to school. Oh my God, okay, I got to make dinner. We're either doing that, and now we're not even acknowledging. The reason it keeps coming up is because you're not honoring it. You are not honoring you. You're not honoring your internal truth. So it's screaming at you until you honor and acknowledge it. And the sooner you do it, now what are you doing? Now what you're doing is you're soothing again. You're soothing your own soul. You are the only one that can soothe you in the way that you need to be soothed. You are it. You have been waiting your entire life to hear these words, to feel these feelings. You have been shutting off. You have been telling yourself, shut the F up. Don't worry, get over it. Or keep worrying, and now your life is one big worry mess. So that's worry when it comes to our family and stuff. So this is, again, worry. The first is awareness. There's worry. What is the worry about? Which is feary, right? I'm very worried. I'm very feared. I'm fearful of my son's welfare. Now, what about worried about doing this Facebook Live on worry? I was worried about that. Now, okay, so there's worry. Oh, look at Tracy, there's worry about that. So what am I worried about? What am I feared about? What am I afraid of? Oh, judgment. You're afraid people won't like you. So the worry is worry that I am not going to be enough. I am not going to do a good enough job. I'm not going to say it in the right way. I'm not going to, a million things, right? Whatever they are. So now first step, right? Awareness. Second step, What's the root? What's going on? Ah, I'm worried. I'm fearful about what people will think of me. So guess what? I acknowledge that in myself. Hey, Tracy. Ha, look at that. You are worried about what people will think. Of course you are. Of course, I totally understand that. And yes, you are doing the work and giving the message of your heart. There is nothing bad about that, honey. So these are the things that I say to myself. And then does it always take it away? Right? The freedom from worry is not, again, freedom from never worrying. It's freedom from having it enslave you. It's freedom from having it control you. It's freedom from having it run your life. And the freedom comes in knowing you. The freedom comes because the worry is there. There's worry. Okay, what is the cause of it? What's going on? I'm worried about the future. Now, what are you doing when you're worrying about the future? You're busy drawing that monster on the wall and then opening your eyes, and you are looking every single moment at the picture you just drew over and over. And so then we know there's fury. And now let's go back in. Hey, talk to me about it. Find out what's going on for you. You have suffocated your internal truth, your internal guidance. You have been conditioned and taught by our culture to suck it up. Suck it up. And every time, so that's another way we'll handle worry. Just stop worrying. Don't worry. Just stop it. And here's the problem with that, right? All we're doing is telling ourselves, you stop it. You little missy, get a hold of yourself. Stop worrying. And right now, if you were worrying about something and I just looked at you and I said, get a hold of yourself. Stop worrying. That wouldn't have you stop worrying. But again, if I look at you and I say, hey, I really hear you're worried about the future with your career, your job, your work, what people are going to think when you go on stage to do that presentation. I totally understand that you're worried about that. My heart is with you. I love you. I know you're going to be great. I know it's going to be okay. And I completely understand that you are worried. Now, if I say that to you, it's got you have a whole different experience. The worry or the fury, I'm very worried, I'm very furied. The worry, first step awareness, always. Because the worry is for you to step into. The worry is your soul working hard to come out to show you your worth. So that you can start to understand, to honor your own self. The worry is here for you to honor and love you. So again, step one, what you're going to do is you're going to say, what is it? What's going on here? I'm worried. So what are you worried about? Hi, Pam Diamond. Hi. Hi, Joe. Hey. What are you worried about? So that's the first thing, is the awareness. Sorry, my camera just freaked out. What are you worried about? Is the awareness of it, right? Okay, there's worry. And again, it's really important to understand the language that I just used. When you start to say, I'm so worried, I'm so worried, I'm so worried, you have your head under the water, right? You are water torturing your own self. I'm so worried, I'm so worried, I'm so worried. So what you want to do is you want to come up out of the water and notice, look at worry as if it were an item. Oh, look at that. There's a worry. Look at that worry. Check that worry out. Okay, what's going on with a worry? What is a worry? What is a fear? So now, okay, what's my fear? Because it's always rooted in, always rooted in fear. Now, what's my fear? Okay, is my fear about the future? What is it? Is there something I can do about it, right? It could just be your internal alarm saying, hey, you could possibly do this. Or, so it could be that, and it could be your internal alarm. This is your inner alarm. This is your soul. This is how your soul talks to you. It's trying to get heard. And so the worry is, I call it, have you ever had a thought worm, a song worm? Like a songworm. So the same words keep repeating themselves over and over and over. And worry can be that way also. It can be a worry worm. So now you are under the water, above the water, under the water, above the water. So that worry worm keeps playing over and over in your mind. And that is simply a gift to you. When it keeps repeating over and over, it's saying to you, there's more to do here. Or there's more love that needs to be had to your own self. There's more understanding. There's more empathy. That worry is there for you and you only. So awareness 1, 2, notice it. Okay, look at that. Look, there's worry. What's going on with that? I just felt like I'm doing all the single ladies, all the Hey, it's my Facebook Live. Okay, so then second, where's it coming from? What am I feared about? What am I worried about? Fear and worry, feared. And then identify that. And then speak to that. So, okay, so we've talked about worry about the future. Pretty much we have 2 types, unless you can think of a different type of worry. In my mind, there's worried about future things, my kids, career, any of those things. Right? There's the future. And then there's worried about what other people will think. If you can think of another ingredient to worry, another component, it seems like those 2 are the things, fear, of course, fear is health. I'm worried about my health. That would also be feary worry in the future. So I think that would be it. I think those are the 2 main things. And if you can, let me know in the comments. So those are the 2, so worry has one purpose only, fear. I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's really important that you understand that worry is your internal guidance. Worry is actually, when you are in fear, there's only 2 places to be. You ready for this? There's only 2 places. You are either in fear, and the purpose of fear is to create more fear. I'm going to say that again. The purpose of fear is to create more fear, because when you are in fear, you cannot at the same time be, I'm going to use the word in love, and I'm not talking about in love with my man. I'm talking about in the love of your heart. So fear, in order to keep, so when there's fear, and when there's fear, fear takes you away from feeling the love for yourself that is needed and necessary in that moment. When you are in fear, fear's purpose is to create more fear, because that's the way fear continues to exist and grow. The more you're in fear, the bigger fear becomes. So if you notice that something happened, or that you're in worry, that you're in fury, and you say, hey, Trace, I totally understand why you're worried about that. Now I'm in love. I'm no longer in fear. Notice, I moved from worry. I can hear that, Tracy. I totally understand that you're worried about that. Now the feeling is not worry. Now the feeling is love for myself, or for if I'm talking to a friend. Now I cannot be in both places at the exact same time. Does this make sense? I hope this is making sense. I'm going to say this again. The purpose of fear is to create more fear. Fear cannot exist in another emotion in the emotion of love. The frequency of love is a much higher vibration, much higher frequency. Fear, definitely one of the lowest vibrations and fear. So they cannot exist in the same. They're not one and the same. They're very different. So let's say I'm worried about doing Facebook Live, or let's say I'm worried about Cole going off and, on his trip. I went in that moment when I'm experiencing that fear. Okay, I've done what I can. I know I've done what I can. There's nothing more I can do there. So now I'm going to love the one who's worried. I'm going to love the one who's worried through the worry. And I'm not going to leave. I'm going to be there time and time again for the one who's worried. And you will notice, when I first started this practice several years ago, when I first started this practice, I had a lot more worry. And the more you do it, the more fear goes, oh, it's a big waste of time over there. because she's just going to go love on herself. The less I worry. It is significant how much time I spent in worry in my life and how much time I spend in worry now. It is Herculean almost sometimes for me to experience worry because I know it's there for me every single time, and I can go right in and say, hey, you're worried. This worry is because you're worried. This fear is because you're worried about what people might think here. Or this worry is for this particular reason, or this worry is for this particular reason. And then I will love on myself through that. So now basically what I'm doing each and every time is I'm healing this part of myself. I am no longer neglecting myself. Neglect is we talk about neglect like it happens out there. Neglect on a regular basis happens in here. You are constantly neglecting yourself. Something comes up, you don't want to think about it, or you just want to shut it down. You just want to shut it down. You don't want to hear it. The only way to have it go away is to honor it. It is there for you. It is you calling, it is your soul calling it forth so it can be acknowledged, so that you can be acknowledged for the beauty that you are. So that is fear, and the steps that I take. I think they're beautiful steps that I take to, it's the freedom. Honestly, it is massive amounts of freedom not to live in worry. And when worry comes up, it is an experience. It is not me. There is worry. It is there for me, and I know this. That's the freedom. It doesn't rule me. It doesn't enslave me anymore. It used to. I would gnash my teeth. My poor kids. I have created problems in the past because of my worry. I did create a division between myself and my boys when they were younger that has taken years to heal. I created with my husband, me blasting him with my worry. That creates a division. And as I've healed the worry in myself, the fear, which it really is fear, my kids now are more trusting of me. They can say stuff to me. They can share their lives with me. So they are more free to be who they are with me. And it is a gift. But it is only a gift because I give myself the freedom to be who I am, to be okay with my own worry. It changed my marriage. These are these things that when we are worried, and especially when we're worried about a person, okay, now we're just worrying all over them. And here's the other part. When you worry, you are bringing that energy to that person. So it touches you first, that worry, your body energetically experiences it, and then it touches the other person. You are actually sending them worry energy. But now, if I say, hey, in my mind, first of all, hey, Tracy, I'm going to use the example of Cole again. Of course you're worried. And then I can say, oh, and I love him so much. And I can imagine him safe and having a great time. Now that new picture that I've drawn now, I'm drawing a new picture. I'm not drawing the fear monster anymore. I'm not drawing the monster on the wall anymore. I'm drawing this new picture of him having a great time on his trip abroad. So now my heart feels that first. My heart gets the experience of that first. And now I send that same energy to him. This is the power behind it. Again, fear and love cannot exist in the same moment. It's impossible. So all I'm doing now is, dousing myself in my own self-love, plus the love that I have for my kid, as well as the fantastic time he's having. It's all made up, right? It's all in my imagination. but I actually energetically feel it, and that energy that he can receive, he also feels it. There are so many benefits to understanding the power and the gift that the worry is. Because once you, thank you so much, Dolores, thank you. Once you understand the power behind the worry and the gift that it actually is, it's not fun, right? It's not fun to think, oh my gosh, my mom has multiple sclerosis. What, which is true. What am I going to, what, oh my gosh, she could, there's all sorts of worry that goes on with my mom right now. And I can choose to paint that picture, that monster, or I can see her. I can imagine when I'm thinking about her and I notice I go to worry, I shift it. And I say, one, hey, of course, Tracy, her daughter, I love you. Yes, of course, you're worried about your mom, of course. But even more yummy than that is imagining my mom in the truth of who she is. The MS is a physical and mental, at this point, experience for her. But I know who she is. She is perfectly beautiful all the time, just as you are. You are perfect, and she is perfect every single second of every single minute of every single day. So when I can worry, when I find worry comes into my mind, I can then imagine and remember her perfection, the perfect perfection that she actually is inside that body. The body is just an experience of it. But she is perfect every single second of every single minute of every single day. So I hope I've given you some tools to manage or to actually honor the worry. And then most importantly and significantly, to honor yourself through the worry and to honor those, seeing them in their own beauty and perfection, no matter what is going on. Now that touches your heart and theirs as well. So again, if you would like notifications, text notifications, please text the word align to 38470. Text the word align to 38470 and you'll get a text notification of my Align Living topic each week. And if you want to know more about Align Living, when I'm going to be on, what my topic is, how to register for it, if you'd like, you can go to my website, tracygritz.com, and then click on the Align. That's it from my heart to your heart. Always. You are always perfect every single second of every single minute of every single day. See you next time. Bye-bye.